Chosen one, why does your chest tighten at 3 a.m. when everyone else is sleeping? Why have you been whispering the same prayer for decades, wondering if God lost your address? Why does it feel like you've been in a dark tunnel so long you've forgotten what daylight looks like? Chosen one, December 5th is not another date on your calendar. It is a spiritual doorway. And if you're listening to my voice right now, heaven needs you to know your dark night is reaching its final minute. I know you're tired. I know you've been carrying weight that has no name. You've held yourself together through funerals and financial collapses, through children who stopped calling and friends who slowly disappeared. You've smiled at church while dying inside. You've said "I'm fine" so many times the words taste like ashes in your mouth. But something happened last night while you slept. A shift occurred in the unseen realm. A countdown began. And the God who has watched every tear you've cried in secret just whispered your name across eternity and said, "Enough. It's time." Listen to me carefully, dear one. You didn't find this message. This message found you, because 70, 80, maybe 90 years of faithfulness is about to collide with heaven's perfect timing. And when that collision happens, everything changes. Before we go deeper into this prophetic moment together, I want to pause and thank every single one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and let the Holy Spirit move through your generosity. But right now, I need you to understand something that's going to shatter every lie the enemy has whispered about your future. There are 7 prophetic signs, 7 divine markers that prove your blessing door is not just cracking open, it's being blown off its hinges. And the most powerful sign, the one that will leave you breathless, I'm saving it for last. If your spirit is already stirring, if something deep inside you just woke up, don't scroll past this moment. Type Amen or I receive this right now. Let heaven see you responding. Let the angels take notice that you're still here, still believing, still standing. Because, chosen one, your dark night doesn't end tomorrow, it ends December 5th. And what comes next will make up for every year you thought was wasted. Are you ready to see the signs? How long have you been walking through a hallway with no doors? How many mornings have you opened your eyes and felt that familiar heaviness settle on your chest before you even remembered what day it was? How many times have you whispered, "How much longer, Lord?" into the silence of your bedroom, wondering if anyone was even listening? Let me tell you something about the dark night that nobody has the courage to speak out loud. The dark night is not just trouble. It's not just a bad season or a rough patch you can pray away with 3 Hail Marys and a positive attitude. The dark night is the place where heaven seems to have changed its phone number, where your prayers bounce off the ceiling and land back in your lap like returned mail marked address unknown, where your faith, that rock-solid, mountain-moving faith you had at 30, feels like it's shrinking down to the size of a mustard seed, and you're not even sure you can find it anymore. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I'm talking about the night that's lasted longer than any night should. The one that started when you buried your spouse and realized you'd have to learn how to sleep alone after 47 years. The one that began when your children moved across the country and their phone calls got shorter and less frequent until you started wondering if you'd become a burden. The one that crept in when the doctor used words like chronic and progressive, and you understood that your body was writing checks your spirit couldn't cash anymore. This is the dark night I'm speaking of. The midnight of your soul that stretched so long you've started to forget what sunrise looks like. And here's what makes it unbearable. You have to keep pretending you're strong. You have to keep showing up at church with your Sunday smile. You have to keep telling your grandchildren, "I'm doing just fine, sweetheart," while your heart is screaming that you're terrified of being forgotten, terrified of running out of time, terrified that you'll die before you see the promises God whispered to you 60 years ago. The fear of being invisible in a world that worships youth. The terror of watching your savings account shrink while your medical bills grow. The nightmare of needing help to do things you used to do without thinking. The crushing weight of being strong alone, day after day after day, when you're so tired your bones ache with exhaustion that sleep can't touch. But listen to me now. Listen with everything in you. Every night, no matter how long, no matter how dark, no matter how silent, has a clock. Midnight cannot outrun the sunrise. It is physically impossible for darkness to exist where light has been given permission to break through. Do you hear what I'm telling you? The night has a limit. The darkness has an expiration date. And that date is not up to the enemy. It's not up to your circumstances. It's not even up to how you feel when you wake up tomorrow morning. That date was written in heaven's calendar before you took your first breath. Think about the children of Israel in Egypt. 400 years of slavery. 400 years of crying out to a God who seemed to have forgotten them. Generations born and died in bondage, never seeing freedom, never touching the promise. But Exodus 2:24 says something that should make your spirit leap. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant. He remembered. Not because he had forgotten. God doesn't have memory problems. He remembered because the appointed time had come. The dark night of slavery had reached its final hour, and nothing, not Pharaoh, not the taskmasters, not 4 centuries of oppression, could stop what God had scheduled for that exact moment. Your dark night didn't come to break you. Your dark night came to announce your blessing. Do you understand what I just said? The darkness you've been walking through isn't evidence that God has abandoned you. It's evidence that something so massive, so overwhelming, so absolutely transformative is about to be released into your life that you had to be prepared for it. You had to be emptied of self-reliance. You had to be stripped of every false security. You had to reach the place where you had nothing left but God, because what's coming requires that level of dependence. Job sat in ashes for months, scraping his boils with broken pottery, listening to his friends tell him it was his own fault. But Job 42:10 records the shift. After Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before. The dark night ended not when Job felt better, not when his circumstances looked different, but when the appointed time arrived. David wrote Psalm 30:5 from the other side of his dark night. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Not might come, not could come if you're good enough. Comes, present tense, inevitable, unstoppable. Your morning has a name, your morning has a date, and that date is December 5th. The clock that's been ticking through your darkest hours is about to strike a new hour. The night watch that's felt eternal is about to shift, and when it does, you're going to look back at this darkness and finally understand why it lasted as long as it did. If you feel this truth warming your spirit like the first ray of light touching your face after the longest night, I need you to do something right now. Just whisper it. Say it out loud if you're alone. Write it in the comments if your fingers can type it. Say, my night is ending. Because, chosen one, the signs are already appearing. And the first one? It's going to confirm everything I just told you. You've noticed it, haven't you? That eerie quiet that settled over your life like morning fog on the Hudson. Days that used to rush by now crawl. The phone that used to ring doesn't anymore. The calendar that was once packed with appointments now shows empty squares stretching out like a desert. And somewhere deep in your chest, a voice whispers, "Is this it? Is this all that's left?" Dear chosen one, let me tell you something that's going to shake the foundation of everything you've been feeling. What you're experiencing right now, this profound stillness, this strange slowness, this sense that life is winding down while everyone else speeds ahead, it's not what you think it is. It's not the end, it's the setup. Look at your life right now. Really, look at it. Your children are grown and gone. Your spouse might be with the Lord. Your career is a memory. The friends you had coffee with every Tuesday, some moved to Florida, some moved to eternity. And you're sitting in a house that feels too big, in a life that feels too quiet, wondering if God put you on a shelf and forgot where He placed you. You wake up and there's nowhere urgent to be. You look at your phone and there's no one urgent to call. You sit in that same chair, day after day, watching the sunlight move across the wall, and something inside you screams, "I'm still here. Doesn't anyone see that I'm still alive?" But here's what breaks my heart. You've started to believe the lie. The lie that says stillness means you're finished. That quiet means you're forgotten. That slow days mean your purpose died somewhere between your retirement party and your last birthday. Listen to me very carefully. Psalm 46:10 gives us a command that most people misunderstand completely. Be still and know that I am God. We think that's poetic advice for meditation, but it's not a suggestion, beloved. It's a divine strategy. When God wants to do something massive, something that will echo through generations, He doesn't start with noise. He starts with stillness. He clears the stage. He removes the distractions. He creates sacred space. Think about this. Before God spoke the world into existence, what was there? Stillness, silence, nothing but potential, waiting to explode into purpose. Before Jesus began His ministry, where did He go? Into the wilderness, 40 days of nothing but Him and the Father. Stillness before the storm, quiet before the earthquake. And you've been in your wilderness, your sacred stillness, your divine clearing. But you thought it was abandonment when it was actually appointment. You know what the enemy has been whispering to you? He's been saying, "Nobody needs you anymore. Your time has passed. You're invisible." And every empty day, every quiet evening, every moment when no one calls, it's been confirming that lie in your mind. But what if I told you that God has been clearing your calendar for a reason? What if He's been removing the noise so you could finally hear what He's been trying to tell you for decades? What if this stillness, this maddening, lonely, frightening stillness, is actually sign number 1 that your blessing door is about to explode open? See, when everything in your life slows down, it's not because you're running out of road. It's because God is about to pivot you in a completely different direction, and you can't make a sharp turn at high speed. You have to slow down first. I'm talking to the grandmother who feels invisible in her own family. I'm talking to the grandfather who used to be sought after for advice, but now feels like a relic. I'm talking to every senior saint who has wondered if they've become irrelevant in a world that worships youth and speed. Your stillness is not your ending. It's your launching pad. You've been stripped down to nothing so God can build something from the ground up. You've been emptied out so He can fill you with something new. You've been sitting in silence so long that when He finally speaks, you'll be the only one in the room who can hear it clearly. And here's what's about to shock you. That stillness you've been drowning in the next 72 hours, it's going to shatter. Because December 5th isn't just another day. It's the day God breaks the silence over your life with a sound so loud, heaven itself will take notice. But this is only sign number 1. There are 6 more. And I need you to understand something crucial. Each sign builds on the last. They're not random, they're sequential. They're divine breadcrumbs, leading you to the moment when everything changes. And sign number 7, the one I'm saving for last, it's the sign that confirms you're not just about to receive a blessing, you're about to become one. You're not just walking through a door, you're about to be the door that others walk through to find their own breakthrough. But we're not there yet. Because right now, you need to recognize that the stillness you've been sitting in wasn't meant to bury you. It was meant to prepare you. The question burning in your spirit right now should be this. If the stillness was sign number 1, what's sign number 2? And more importantly, how many of these signs are already manifesting in your life without you even realizing it? You know what's been haunting you more than anything else? It's not the pain. It's not even the struggle. It's the silence. That deafening, soul-crushing silence when you cry out to God and hear nothing. You've been there, haven't you? On your knees at 2 a.m., face buried in your hands, whispering prayers that feel like they're bouncing off the ceiling. You've opened your Bible to the same worn pages, searching for a word, a sign, anything that proves He's still listening. But day after day, week after week, month after month, silence. And that silence, it makes you question everything. Did I do something wrong? Is God angry with me? Have I been forgotten? You look at others who seem to hear from God so clearly, who post about their blessings and breakthroughs, and you wonder, why not me? What makes me different? What makes me unworthy? Let me tell you something that's going to shake you to your core. That silence you've been interpreting as abandonment, it's actually the opposite. It's intimacy. Listen carefully. When a master craftsman works on his most valuable piece, does he rush? Does he hurry through the details? No. He goes silent, he leans in close, he holds his breath, because what he's creating requires precision that noise would destroy. Silence is not absence, it is God leaning in to see if you still trust him. Think about Abraham. Genesis 15 records God's promise that Abraham would have a son, that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars. But then what happened? 25 years of silence. 25 years. Can you imagine? Every month, Sarah's body reminded them of the impossibility. Every year that passed was another year of whispers from neighbors, another year of doubt creeping in like fog. But Hebrews 11:11 tells us, through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. She judged him faithful, not because she felt him, not because she heard him, but because she chose to believe his character over her circumstances. You've been doing the same thing, haven't you? You've been faithful in the silence. You've kept praying when prayer felt pointless. You've kept believing when belief cost you everything. You've kept showing up to church when your heart was shattered. You've kept reading his word when it felt like reading a letter from someone who'd forgotten you. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. That silence wasn't punishment, it was preparation. God wasn't ignoring you. He was protecting what he was building inside you. Because some blessings are so massive, so life-altering, so generationally significant that if they came before you were ready, they would destroy you instead of deliver you. Look at Joseph. 13 years from the pit to the palace, 13 years of silence, so loud it must have been deafening. Sitting in that Egyptian prison, falsely accused, forgotten by the cupbearer who promised to remember him. Do you think Joseph wondered if God had abandoned him? Do you think he questioned whether those dreams he had as a boy were just youthful fantasies? But Genesis 50:20 reveals the secret. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring to pass as it is this day, to save much people alive. The silence was setting up the salvation. The waiting was orchestrating the miracle. And you, dear chosen one, you've been in your own prison of silence. Maybe it's been 5 years, maybe 10. Maybe you're sitting here at 75 years old thinking, I've been waiting my entire life. But what if I told you that every single day of that silence has been adding weight to your testimony? What if every tear you cried in secret was filling golden bowls in heaven? What if every moment you chose faith over feeling was writing a chapter in a story that will outlive you? If heaven has been quiet, it means something big is being written with your name on it. Think about it. When does a theater go silent? Right before the curtain rises. When does a crowd hold its breath? Right before the champion is announced. When does creation itself pause? Right before God speaks something into existence. Your silence isn't the end of your story. It's the dramatic pause before the most powerful chapter begins. But here's what separates those who receive from those who give up. It's not talent, it's not perfection, it's not even faith the size of a mountain. It's endurance. Romans 5:3-4 says it plainly. We glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. You've been building something in that silence, character that can't be shaken, trust that can't be broken, hope that refuses to die, even when every logical reason says it should. December 5th is coming. And on that day, the silence breaks. The waiting ends. The door that's been closed swings open with such force that everyone who doubted you will have to witness what God does when He finally says, "Now." But I need to know something. After everything you've been through, after all the silence you've endured, are you still standing? Are you still waiting? Are you still believing that the God who started this story is faithful enough to finish it? If you are, if after all this time you're still here, still trusting, still holding on, then type "still I wait" in the comments right now. Let heaven see that the silence didn't break you. Let the angels witness that you're still in position. Let the enemy know that he failed to steal your faith. Because what's about to happen next requires people who've been tested by silence and didn't abandon their post. And you, chosen one, you just qualified for something the comfortable will never understand. Now, let me show you the first sign that your blessing door is opening. You felt it this morning, didn't you? That strange sensation when you opened your eyes like something had lifted off your chest while you slept. You've carried that weight for so long, you forgot what it felt like to breathe without it. But this morning was different. The heaviness that's been your constant companion for 20, 30, maybe 40 years, it wasn't there. And you thought you were imagining it. But beloved, let me tell you something that's going to shake you to your core. When the soul begins to lighten without reason, that's when heaven has touched you. That's not your mind playing tricks. That's not old age making you forgetful. That's the finger of God reaching into your spirit and saying, "I'm taking this burden now. You've carried it long enough." Some of you woke up crying yesterday and couldn't explain why. Tears just came. Not sad tears, something deeper, something ancient, like your soul was finally exhaling after holding its breath for decades. You sat there at your kitchen table, coffee getting cold, wondering what was wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Everything is right. Look at what Jesus said in Matthew 11:28. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." But here's what most people miss. That word rest in the original Greek is anapausis. It doesn't just mean sleep, it means relief, refreshment. The kind of rest that changes your chemistry, that rewrites your spiritual DNA. You're not just tired anymore, you're being renewed. I'm talking to the grandmother who's been carrying guilt about her children for 30 years. I'm talking to the grandfather who's replayed that one business failure every night before sleep. I'm talking to every senior who's been walking through life with invisible chains that nobody else could see. Those chains are breaking right now as I speak these words. You know what else has been happening? Memories. Old memories surfacing like messages in bottles washing up on shore. You're remembering moments you haven't thought about in 50 years. A conversation with your mother, a promise you made to God when you were young, a dream you had before life taught you to stop dreaming. Why now? Why are these memories suddenly flooding back? Because God is connecting the dots. He's showing you that nothing was wasted. That shy prayer you whispered at 17, He heard it. That moment you almost gave up at 45 but didn't, He was holding you. That sacrifice you made at 63 that nobody ever acknowledged, heaven recorded it. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says He has made everything beautiful in its time, not in your time, in His time. And beloved, your time is December 5th. But here's where it gets supernatural. Here's where the mystery unfolds right before your eyes. You've been walking differently this week, haven't you? It's subtle. You might not have even noticed, but it's like you're walking with less weight than yesterday. Your steps feel lighter. Not because your body changed, because your spirit is remembering how to fly. This is not age making you weak. This is alignment making you free. The enemy wants you to think you're deteriorating. He wants you to believe that every change in your body is decline, that every shift in your energy is evidence that you're fading away. But what if the opposite is true? What if you're not fading, you're being prepared? What if you're not declining, you're being refined? Think about Moses at the burning bush. Exodus 3-5 says God told him, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Why sandals? Because to walk on holy ground, You can't carry anything earthly. You have to remove what connects you to common soil. God is removing your sandals, chosen one. He's stripping away everything that's kept you grounded in disappointment, anchored in regret, chained to the past. Because where you're about to walk requires bare feet and a light soul. Some of you experienced sudden peace this week. You were in the middle of worry, real, legitimate worry about money, about health, about family, and suddenly nothing. The worry just stopped, like someone flipped a switch, and you sat there confused because you didn't pray it away. You didn't fight for it. It just left. That wasn't random. That was removal. When God is preparing you for elevation, He doesn't just open the door. He removes everything that would weigh you down when you walk through it. The peace you felt wasn't absence of concern. It was presence of heaven. Philippians 4:7 calls it the peace of God, which transcends all understanding. It makes no logical sense. Your circumstances didn't change, but you did. And now you're standing at the threshold of December 5th, lighter than you've been in decades, wondering what it all means. Let me tell you what it means. It means your dark night is not just ending, it's being erased. Every year you spent in that tunnel, every prayer you cried in that valley, every moment you thought God had forgotten you, heaven was keeping count. And now the bill is coming due. Not for you to pay, for you to collect. But there's something else happening that most people are missing. Something so profound that when I tell you, you'll understand why your spirit has been restless all week. Are you ready to see what heaven has been preparing while you were sleeping? Now listen to me very carefully, chosen one, because what I'm about to reveal will shatter everything you thought you knew about your disappointments. Sign #4 Divine Disruptions. When heaven protects you by breaking your plans. You remember that job you didn't get? The one you prayed for, fasted for, believed God for? You walked out of that interview feeling defeated, wondering why God would dangle hope in front of you, only to snatch it away. You went home, looked in the mirror, and whispered, "What's wrong with me?" But 3 months later, you heard that company went bankrupt. The entire department was laid off. People lost their homes, their savings, their marriages under that financial pressure. And suddenly, that rejection didn't feel like rejection anymore. It felt like rescue. Or what about that relationship? The one that fell apart and left you shattered on your bedroom floor at 2 a.m., convinced you'd never love again. You begged God to bring them back. You bargained, you pleaded, you promised to be better. But heaven stayed silent, and that door stayed closed. Until you discovered the truth about who they really were. The lies they were living. The darkness they were hiding. The destruction they would have brought into your life, into your children's lives, into your legacy. And in that moment of awful clarity, you fell to your knees, not in grief this time, but in gratitude. Because what broke your heart actually saved your life. Proverbs 16:9 declares, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." Do you see it now? Do you finally understand? Every closed door, every cancelled plan, every disappointment that felt like abandonment, it was divine disruption. God wasn't ignoring your prayers. He was answering them in a language you didn't understand yet. That house you almost bought before the deal fell through. 2 years later, foundation problems would have bankrupted you. That business partnership that dissolved in anger. Your potential partner was headed for federal indictment. That move across country that didn't work out. You would have missed being there when your grandchild needed you most. Rejection was redirection. What you thought was the end of your story was actually the beginning of your protection. But here's what's going to shake you to your core. Every single divine disruption in your past wasn't just about protecting you from something bad. It was positioning you for something magnificent. God wasn't just closing wrong doors. He was aligning you with December 5th, this exact moment when your blessing door swings open. Type, "God redirected me," if you're finally seeing it. If you're finally understanding that what felt like punishment was actually protection. Sign #5 Unexplained, protection. the moments death missed you by inches, but divine disruptions aren't the only way heaven has been protecting you. There are moments, sacred moments, when you came within inches of tragedy, and something unexplainable intervened. You were running late that Tuesday morning, frustrated, rushing, angry at yourself for oversleeping. You missed your usual train, had to wait for the next one. And later that day, you heard the news there was an accident, a derailment, injuries. The train you should have been on, the seat you would have been sitting in, or that phone call that came exactly when you were about to pull out of your driveway. A telemarketer, a wrong number, something meaningless that delayed you 60 seconds. You were annoyed, tapping your steering wheel impatiently. But 2 blocks ahead, a drunk driver ran a red light exactly where you would have been. What about that doctor's appointment you almost cancelled? You were feeling fine, thought it was unnecessary, already had too much on your schedule. But something, some quiet voice you couldn't ignore made you go anyway. And they found it. Early stage. Treatable. Curable. 6 months later, and the story would have been different. Dear one, do you understand what I'm telling you? These weren't coincidences. These weren't lucky breaks or random chance. These were divine interventions, orchestrated by a God who has been fighting for your survival, even when you didn't know you needed saving. Psalm 91:11 promises, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways," not some of your ways, all your ways. Every step, every moment, every breath you've taken has been surrounded by angelic protection you couldn't see. How many times has death reached for you and missed? How many accidents didn't happen? How many diagnoses were caught just in time? How many disasters were you absent from because of delays you cursed in the moment? You didn't survive by accident, chosen one. You survived because heaven still needs you, because your assignment isn't complete, because December 5th is coming, and God has been keeping you alive for this exact moment. That near miss on the highway when you swerved just in time, do you really think your reflexes were that good? That fall down the stairs that should have killed you but left you with only bruises, do you really believe you just got lucky? That health scare that resolved itself mysteriously, do you really think that was your body healing on its own? No. Angels were dispatched. Prayers you don't even remember praying were answered. The hand of the Almighty was hovering over your life, whispering, "Not yet. Not this one. This one still has work to do." And if you're still breathing right now, if your heart is still beating, if you're hearing my voice in this sacred moment, that's the proof. You are being kept for something greater than you've yet experienced. If this is hitting your spirit like lightning, if you're finally seeing how many times heaven has saved you, type 555 right now. That's not just a number, that's your declaration of alignment. 555 means change is coming. 555 means angelic protection is activated. 555 means you recognize that you're still here for a reason. But knowing you've been protected is only part of the revelation, because there's something even more powerful happening right now that you need to understand. Something strange has been happening to you lately, hasn't it? People you haven't heard from in years suddenly calling. A relative reaching out after a long silence. That neighbor who barely nodded before now stopping to ask how you're really doing. Even strangers, the cashier at the grocery store, holding your gaze a moment longer, speaking softer, treating you with unexpected gentleness. You thought it was coincidence. But chosen one, there are no coincidences in the kingdom of God. Your name has been spoken in heaven's council again. Let me tell you what's really happening in the unseen realm while you've been living your ordinary days, while you've been shuffling through your morning routine, making your coffee, sitting in that same chair where you've prayed 1,000 desperate prayers. God has been in conference. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit have been discussing you, not your failures, not your regrets, not the years you think you wasted or the mistakes that still haunt you at 3 a.m. They've been speaking your name, your true name, the name written in the Lamb's Book of Life before the foundations of the world were laid. And when your name is spoken in heaven's throne room, everything shifts in the earthly realm. Listen to what happened to Abraham in Genesis chapter 17. He was 99 years old, forgotten by the world, living in obscurity. His body was as good as dead. His wife's womb had been barren for decades. But then God spoke, "No longer shall your name be called Abram, but your name shall be Abraham, for I have made you a father of many nations." Did you catch that? God didn't just speak to him, God spoke his name. And the moment heaven pronounced it, impossibility became pregnant with promise. The same thing happened to Jacob. He wrestled all night with God, broken and desperate. And when morning came, God said, "Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel." One night, one encounter, one divine pronunciation of his name, and his entire destiny shifted. But here's what breaks my heart and should shatter yours somewhere along your journey. The world convinced you that your name didn't matter anymore. Society whispered that at your age, you're invisible. Your children got too busy to call. Your friends slowly drifted away. The church you served faithfully for 40 years barely notices when you're absent. And you started believing the cruelest lie the enemy ever told, that you've been forgotten. But chosen one, listen to Isaiah 49:15, 1-6. God says, "Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands." Engraved, not written in pencil, not typed in a database that can be deleted. Engraved on the very hands that formed galaxies and numbered every star. Your name is carved into the flesh of the Almighty, and when heaven speaks your name, the earthly realm must respond. This is why people are suddenly reaching out. This is why that son who hasn't called in months suddenly had you on his mind. This is why that old friend texted out of nowhere. This is why strangers are treating you differently. They don't know why. They can't explain it. But their spirits are picking up on a frequency that's being broadcast from the throne room of God. Your name is echoing through eternity, and creation itself is responding. You remember when Mary visited Elizabeth in Luke chapter 1? The moment Mary walked through the door, before she even spoke, the baby in Elizabeth's womb leaped. John the Baptist recognized the presence of Jesus while both were still in their mother's wombs. Why? Because when heaven marks someone, even unborn babies can sense it. Heaven remembers what the world forgot. The world forgot that you raised those children when your husband walked out. Heaven remembers. The world forgot that you kept tithing when you could barely afford groceries. Heaven remembers. The world forgot that you prayed for your community for 30 years without seeing revival. Heaven remembers. Every act of faithfulness you performed in secret, every tear you cried that no one witnessed, every sacrifice you made that no one acknowledged, it's all recorded. Not in some dusty church registry that gets thrown away when the building closes. It's recorded in heaven's archives, and your name is attached to every single entry. But here's the urgency that should grip your soul right now. When God begins speaking your name again in heaven's council, it means preparation is over. The season of hiddenness is ending. The time of obscurity is finished. Something is about to break open in your life that will leave you breathless. And if you've been feeling this shift, if people treating you differently has left you wondering what's changed, it's because heaven has activated your name again. The divine alarm has sounded. Your assignment is being downloaded. Your moment is approaching. So, tell me, chosen one, when was the last time you spoke your own name with the authority of heaven backing it? Because what I'm about to show you in the next sign will prove that this isn't just spiritual theory. This is your reality breaking through right now. Listen to me, chosen one. Right now, this very second, something is happening in the spiritual realm that your natural eyes cannot see. The door you've been praying would open for decades. It's not coming. It's not on its way. It's already swinging wide. December 5th isn't just another Thursday. It's the date heaven marked on your file before you were born. It's the moment when everything that tried to break you becomes the foundation of everything that's about to bless you. You've been asking God, when? When will my breakthrough come? When will I finally see your promises manifest? But God has been asking you something different. He's been asking, are you ready to handle what I'm about to release? Because what's coming through this door isn't just a blessing, it's a flood. It's compensation for every tear, vindication for every betrayal, restoration for every loss. And it's hitting your life in 5 undeniable waves. The first wave is unexpected financial peace. Not a lottery ticket, not a lucky break, but supernatural provision that makes no logical sense. Bills you couldn't pay suddenly get covered by sources you didn't see coming. That check in the mail you weren't expecting. That refund that shouldn't have happened. That debt that mysteriously gets forgiven. Philippians 4:19 declares, my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory. Not some of your needs, all your needs. And it's starting December 5th. But here's what breaks my heart. Some of you are going to miss it because you're still looking at your bank account instead of trusting his word. Stop counting your pennies and start claiming your promise. The second wave is unexpected healing. That pain in your body that doctors can't explain. That diagnosis that's been hanging over your head like a death sentence. That medication you've been dependent on for years. Something is shifting. Psalm 103:3 says, he forgives all your iniquities and heals all your diseases. Not some diseases, all diseases. I'm talking to someone right now whose knees have been screaming with arthritis for 20 years. December 5th. You're going to wake up and take stairs you haven't climbed in a decade. I'm talking to someone whose mind has been foggy, whose memory has been slipping. Clarity is coming back like a rushing wind. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead is about to surge through your mortal body. The third wave is unexpected emotional strength. You've been carrying depression like a heavy coat you can't take off. You've been dragging anxiety around like chains on your ankles. You've been living with grief so deep you forgot what joy feels like. But Isaiah 61:3 promises the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. December 5th. Something inside you that's been dead for years is going to breathe again. You're going to wake up and the weight will be gone. Not lighter. Gone. You're going to laugh and it won't be fake. You're going to smile and it won't be forced. You're going to feel hope and it won't be fragile. The fourth wave is unexpected opportunity. Doors that have been locked for decades are about to swing open so fast they'll hit you in the face. Job offers you didn't apply for. Relationships that restore what betrayal destroyed. Invitations to tables you never thought you'd sit at. Revelation 3:8 says, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. When God opens a door, hell itself can't close it. That phone call is coming. That conversation is happening. That person who needs exactly what you carry is about to cross your path. And this time, you won't second-guess yourself. You won't shrink back. You'll walk through that door like you own it, because heaven just handed you the deed. The fifth wave is unexpected clarity. You've been confused for so long, wondering what your purpose is, questioning if your life even matters, doubting if God has a plan for someone your age. But Jeremiah 29:11 cuts through the fog. I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. December 5th. The confusion lifts, the fog clears. You're going to know not hope, not wish, but know exactly what you're supposed to do next. Every decision that's been paralyzing you suddenly becomes obvious. Every question that's been haunting you gets answered. Not through human wisdom, but through divine download. This is your moment. This is your sunrise breaking through a storm that lasted years, maybe decades. You've been in the dark so long you thought night was permanent. But Psalm 30:5 declares, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Your morning is December 5th. The blessing door is not coming. It is opening now. I need you to do something right now that will seal this prophecy over your life. Type 777 inches the comments. Those 3 sevens are your agreement with heaven that you receive what God is releasing. Share this video to agree with heaven's timing. Your share isn't just a social media post. It's a prophetic act that releases blessing not just to you, but to everyone who needs to hear this word. Hit that like button to seal the prophecy. Let heaven know you're not just hearing, you're believing. But don't leave yet. There's a prayer coming that's going to shift everything. A prayer that's going to activate every word you've heard tonight. Stay with me through the final blessing, because what I'm about to pray over you will change December 5th from just another day to the day everything changed. Are you ready to step through the door? You know what breaks my heart? It's watching God's faithful warriors, people who've prayed for 50, 60, 70 years, sitting in their living rooms right now, wondering if heaven forgot to process their miracle. You've done everything right. You've tithed when you couldn't afford it. You've forgiven people who never apologized. You've stood in faith when everyone else sat in doubt. So why does it feel like your blessing is stuck in transit? Listen to me carefully, chosen one. What I'm about to reveal will shatter every lie you've believed about divine timing. Your breakthrough hasn't been delayed, it's been escorted. In Hebrews 1:14, Scripture asks a question that should stop you in your tracks. Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? Did you catch that? Sent to serve. Not sitting in heaven watching you struggle. Sent. Deployed. Assigned specifically to you. But here's what most believers miss. Angels don't just show up randomly. They operate in formations, in ranks, in strategic assignments. And in the month of December this month, right now, 3 specific angels are being released over the lives of God's chosen ones. I call them the 3 angels of December. And if you've been feeling strange shifts in your spirit these past few days, it's because they've already arrived. The first angel, the angel of clearing. This angel doesn't bring the blessing. This angel prepares the space for it. Think about when Jesus was born. What happened first? An angel appeared to shepherds and said, "Fear not." Why? Because fear had to be cleared before glory could be revealed. Right now, this very moment, the angel of clearing is moving through your atmosphere. That's why you suddenly feel lighter, even though nothing in your circumstances has changed. That's why decades-old anxiety is lifting without explanation. That's why you're sleeping better, breathing deeper, seeing clearer. You thought you were just having a good day. No, beloved. Heaven is sanitizing the spiritual air around your life. Every demon that's been squatting in your peace, evicted. Every spirit of delay that's been camping at your door, removed. Every force that's been blocking your breakthrough, the angel of clearing just served it, an eviction notice signed by the Most High God. But clearing isn't the end. It's preparation for what comes next. The second angel, the angel of positioning. This is the angel that moves chess pieces you can't see on a board you don't know exists. In Acts 8, an angel told Philip, "Go south to the road that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza." Why? Because an Ethiopian official was sitting in a chariot at that exact moment, reading Isaiah, desperate for understanding. One conversation, one divine appointment, one nation changed forever. That wasn't coincidence, that was choreography. Listen, that phone call you received out of nowhere last week, that's positioning. That person from your past who suddenly reached out after 20 years, that's positioning. That random conversation at the grocery store that led somewhere unexpected, that's positioning. You've been calling it luck. Heaven calls it alignment. The angel of positioning is rearranging your entire world right now. People who need to exit are exiting. People who need to enter are entering. Doors that needed to close are slamming shut. Doors that need to open are creaking on their hinges. And you've been standing there confused, wondering why everything feels like it's in motion. Because it is in motion, chosen one. God is setting the stage for your December miracle. But there's one more angel. And this one? This one is going to take your breath away. The third angel, the angel of acceleration. In Daniel 9, the prophet prayed. Before he even finished his prayer, while the words were still in his mouth, the angel Gabriel appeared and said, "As soon as you began to pray, a word went out. Not 3 days later, not next week. Immediately." That's acceleration. You've been waiting decades for certain things: healing, restoration, provision, reconciliation. And you've made peace with slow progress, with gradual change, with maybe someday. But what if I told you that the angel of acceleration just received orders to collapse your timeline? What took Abraham 25 years? Isaac was born. What took Jacob 20 years? He went home wealthy. What took Joseph 13 years? He went from prison to palace in one afternoon. God doesn't operate on human schedules. When he decides to accelerate, what should take years happens in days. What should take months happens in moments. What should take decades happens in the blink of an eye. And right now, over your life, the angel of acceleration is hovering. That's why you've been feeling this strange urgency. That's why time feels different. That's why you can't shake the sense that something massive is about to shift. Because it is. Here's what most people miss about divine intervention. Your blessing didn't arrive alone, beloved. It arrived escorted by 3 angels who cleared the way, positioned the pieces, and accelerated the timeline. So, when your breakthrough finally manifests and it's coming faster than you think, don't you dare call it luck. Don't you dare say you got fortunate. You look heaven in the eye and say, "Thank you for sending the angels." But here's the question that's burning in my spirit right now. If 3 angels are already working on your behalf, what are the 7 signs that prove your blessing door is about to explode open? You know what nobody tells you about breakthrough? They don't tell you that the moment God opens your door, hell mobilizes every demon it can spare to slam it shut before you step through. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. If the last few weeks have felt like spiritual warfare on steroids, if suddenly everything that could go wrong did go wrong, if your body started hurting in new places, if your mind started racing with thoughts you haven't had in years, if family members you haven't fought with in decades suddenly picked fights out of nowhere, that's not coincidence. That's confirmation. The attacks didn't intensify because you're losing. They intensified because you're about to win. Think about the children of Israel at the Red Sea. They just walked out of 400 years of slavery. They were free. The promised land was ahead. Victory was certain. But what happened? Pharaoh changed his mind. He gathered 600 of his best chariots and chased them down. The Israelites found themselves trapped, water in front, army behind, nowhere to run. And they panicked. Exodus 14:11 records their cry. "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die?" After all those miracles, after all those plagues, after all that deliverance, they stood at the edge of their greatest breakthrough and wanted to run back to slavery. Why? Because when dawn appears, night fights its hardest. You're at your Red Sea right now. December 5th is your crossing point. But the enemy knows it, and he's throwing everything he's got at you to make you turn back 3 steps from freedom. Let me ask you something that's going to cut deep. Have you noticed that the closer you get to your blessing, the heavier your body feels? Have you noticed that the moment you started believing again, doubt came crashing in like a tidal wave? Have you noticed that right when peace was finally settling in your spirit, chaos erupted in your family? That's not random, that's tactical. The devil doesn't waste ammunition on people who aren't going anywhere. He doesn't deploy his best demons against believers who are content to stay comfortable. But you've been marked. You've been targeted. Because hell recognizes what you're about to step into, and it terrifies them. Job understood this. He was blameless, upright, feared God, shunned evil. And what happened? Satan himself asked permission to attack him. Job 1-8 records God saying, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him." The attack didn't come because Job was weak. It came because Job was dangerous. Your Job In this generation, that financial pressure that came out of nowhere, that's the enemy trying to distract you from your spiritual assignment. That sudden health scare, that's hell trying to redirect your focus from faith to fear. That relationship that fractured right when you needed support most, that's a calculated attack to isolate you before your breakthrough. But here's what the enemy didn't count on. Here's what hell always forgets. You're still standing. Every demonic scheme that should have destroyed you has failed. Every trap that should have taken you out has been exposed. Every weapon that was formed against you has been broken before it could pierce your heart. Isaiah 54:17 isn't just a pretty scripture to put on a coffee mug. It's a battle cry. No weapon forged against you will prevail. Not some weapons, not most weapons, no weapon. And right now, at this very moment, the enemy is in panic mode because he threw his best shot, and you're still here. You're still praying. You're still believing. You're still standing at the edge of your Red Sea, refusing to go back to Egypt. Let me tell you what's really happening in the spiritual realm. Every attack you've endured in the last 30 days has been hell's desperate attempt to make you quit before December 5th. The sleepless nights, spiritual warfare, the sudden anxiety, demonic interference, the unexplained exhaustion, a principality trying to wear you down before your door opens. But it's not working, is it? You're tired, yes, you're weary, absolutely, but you're not defeated, you're not turning back, you're not giving up 3 steps from the finish line. Jesus faced this same resistance. Luke 22:53 records his words, "This is your hour when darkness reigns." Even the Son of God had to walk through a moment when hell was given permission to unleash everything it had. The Garden of Gethsemane, the betrayal, the beating, the crucifixion. It looked like darkness was winning. But 3 days later, the stone rolled away, and death itself had to bow. Your 3 days are almost over, chosen one. Your stone is about to roll. Your Red Sea is about to part. Your December 5th is about to dawn. The enemy knows it. That's why he's fighting so hard. That's why the attacks have been so vicious. That's why it feels like you're walking through the darkest hour you've ever experienced. Because you are. But it's the darkest hour before the dawn. Listen to me. The resistance you're feeling isn't evidence that you're on the wrong path. It's evidence that you're on the exact right path, and hell is terrified of what happens when you cross over. Every giant standing in your way is proof that there's a promised land on the other side. Every Goliath that's taunting you is confirmation that you're David and your slingshot moment is coming. Every Red Sea blocking your progress is evidence that your miracle is about to part the waters. The attacks didn't come because you're weak. They came because you're dangerous to darkness now. If this is speaking directly to your situation, if you felt this warfare intensifying as December 5th approaches, type it right now. I am protected. Let heaven see your declaration. Let the enemy hear your faith. Let the angels take their positions around your life, because the door isn't just opening, beloved. It's about to explode off its hinges, and nothing in hell can stop what God has already set in motion. But there's something you need to understand about what's waiting on the other side of that door. But now we come to the sign. Heaven kept hidden until this very moment, the 7th sign, the one I've been holding back, because once you hear it, everything about your journey will finally make sense. When your blessing door opens on December 5th, God will show you the one thing He kept from you all these years for your protection. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. There's something or someone that's been operating in the shadows of your life. Something you couldn't see. Something heaven deliberately veiled from your eyes, because if you had seen it too early, it would have destroyed you. Maybe it's a person whose true intentions have been hidden. That family member who smiled at Thanksgiving dinner while secretly working against your peace. That friend from church who prayed with you on Sundays while planting seeds of doubt in your children's minds about you. That business partner, that neighbor, that trusted confidant who wore a mask so convincing that even you, with all your years of wisdom, couldn't see through it. Or maybe it's deeper than that. Maybe it's a spiritual blockage that's been choking your bloodline for 3 generations. A pattern you've been living out without realizing it came from your grandfather's unforgiveness, your grandmother's fear, your mother's unspoken trauma. Maybe it's a threat that's been circling your life like a predator in tall grass, and God has been your invisible shield all along. It's like God puts a light behind your life, and suddenly you see the outline of everything that was trying to stop you. The Bible tells us in Job 12:22, He reveals the deep things of darkness and brings utter darkness into the light. Do you understand what that means? God doesn't just expose evil for dramatic effect. He waits, He watches, He lets the enemy think he's winning. And then, at the appointed time, He turns on the floodlights and shows you exactly what you've been fighting. But here's the revelation that's going to shake you to your core. Here's the truth that explains why your dark night lasted so long, why the wait felt endless, why you've been praying the same prayer for 20, 30, 40 years. The reason your dark night lasted so long is because heaven was waiting for the threat to expose itself. Think about David hiding in that cave from King Saul. 1 Samuel chapter 24. David had a clear shot. He could have killed Saul right there, ended his suffering, claimed his throne. His own men were whispering, God has delivered your enemy into your hands. But David cut off a corner of Saul's robe instead. Why? Because if he had acted too soon, if he had taken matters into his own hands before God's perfect timing, he would have become the very thing he was running from: a murderer, a usurper, a man who forced his way into a crown that needed to be given. God made David wait in that cave, not because he forgot about him, but because Saul's true character needed to be fully revealed. When David finally took the throne, no one could question his legitimacy. The threat had exposed itself completely. That's what's been happening in your life, dear one. God didn't show you earlier because you would have tried to fix it yourself. You would have confronted that person too soon. You would have fought that spiritual battle in your own strength. You would have made decisions out of pain instead of wisdom, and it would have crushed you. He waited until you were strong enough to face it and walk past it. Do you remember when Jesus said in John 16:12, I have much more to say to you, more than you can now bear? He wasn't being cruel. He was being protective. There are truths so heavy, revelations so shattering, that they require a foundation of tested faith to stand on. You've been building that foundation in the dark. Every tear you cried built another layer. Every night you didn't give up added another brick. Every morning you chose to believe God was still good strengthened another beam. And now, right now, you're finally strong enough to see what's been hidden. Some of you are about to discover why certain doors stayed closed. You prayed for that job, that relationship, that opportunity with everything in you. But December 5th will reveal what was on the other side of that door, and you'll fall to your knees, thanking God for protecting you from what looked like a blessing but was actually a trap. Some of you are about to see the face behind the betrayal, the real reason your children turned cold, the source of the division in your family, the root of the financial curse that's followed you for decades. And with that seeing comes authority. Because Ephesians 5:11 commands us, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. You can't fight what you can't see. But once it's exposed, once the light hits it, it loses all its power. This is why your blessing door opening isn't just about receiving good things, it's about finally seeing clearly. And when you see clearly, when that divine light illuminates every shadow that's been haunting your steps, you'll understand something that will set you free forever. You weren't paranoid. You weren't imagining things. You weren't crazy. You were discerning. Your spirit was picking up on what your eyes couldn't yet see. But the question that will determine everything is this. When God shows you what He's been hiding, when He finally pulls back the curtain on December 5th and reveals the threat that's been stalking your peace, will you have the courage to act on what He shows you? Now let me tell you something that's going to shake the very foundation of what you believe about your age, your body, and your future. You wake up every morning and it takes longer than it used to, doesn't it? Your knees remind you of every staircase. Your back speaks a language of decades. You look in the mirror and wonder when that person staring back became so tired, so worn, so different from the warrior you used to be. But what if I told you that every ache, every limitation, every moment you felt your strength slipping away was not the end of your story? What if I told you it was the setup for the greatest comeback heaven has ever orchestrated in your life? Listen to the prophet Isaiah speaking directly to you across 3,000 years. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40-31. Did you catch that word? Renew. Not remember, not reminisce about. Renew. Present tense, active, happening now. You see, beloved, the enemy has been whispering a very specific lie to the elderly saints of God. He's convinced you that your spiritual power is tied to your physical strength. That because your body is aging, your anointing is fading. That because you can't do what you used to do, God can't use you like He used to use you. That is a demonic deception straight from the pit of hell. Moses was 80 years old when he split the Red Sea. 80. Abraham was 99 when God renewed His covenant with him. Caleb was 85 when he said, "Give me this mountain," and went to war against giants. Anna the prophetess was 84 when she recognized the Messiah in the temple and became one of the first evangelists of the gospel. Your age is not your limitation. Your age is your qualification. But here's where the prophecy gets personal. Here's where December 5th becomes your turning point. God is about to do something that defies every medical report, every statistic, every limitation the world has placed on your senior years. It's like heaven is handing you back pieces of yourself you thought time had taken forever. That sudden new courage that rises in your chest when you should be afraid. That's not adrenaline. That's divine restoration. That unexpected peace that floods your spirit in the middle of chaos. That's not denial. That's supernatural strength. That energy that surprises you when you wake up and think, I can actually do this today. That's not a good day. That's God breathing life back into your mortal frame. How many of you have noticed something shifting? A clarity in your mind that feels younger than your age. Thoughts sharper than they've been in years. Motivation returning after it's been dormant for so long you thought it was dead. That's not coincidence, chosen one. That's prophecy manifesting. But listen to me carefully. When God restores strength, He doesn't give you what you lost. He gives you better. He doesn't return you to who you were at 40. He elevates you to who you're meant to be at 70, 80, 90. Because the strength He's releasing isn't measured in how many miles you can walk or how much weight you can lift. It's measured in how many storms you can weather with peace, how many battles you can face with joy, how many impossible situations you can speak to with authority and watch them bow to the name of Jesus. Your body may be aging, but your spirit is being renewed day by day. 2 Corinthians 4:16 declares it. Though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. The world sees your grey hair and thinks you're fading. God sees your grey hair and knows you're finally ready. Ready for the assignments that require wisdom only decades can produce. Ready for the authority that comes from surviving what should have destroyed you. Ready for the anointing that flows through vessels who've learned to depend completely on His strength instead of their own. If you're ready for divine strength, if you're ready to stop accepting weakness as your portion and start claiming renewal as your promise, type it right now, "Renew me, Lord." Because what's about to happen next will prove that your greatest days are not behind you. They're ahead of you, and the sign God's about to reveal will confirm it beyond any doubt. Listen to me very carefully, beloved. What I'm about to tell you isn't just spiritual theory, it's divine timing colliding with your earthly reality. December 5th opens a window, not a metaphorical window, not a poetic idea, a genuine spiritual portal that heaven has been holding closed until this exact moment. And here's what breaks my heart. Most people will miss it completely because they don't understand what they're looking at. You know what a window is, don't you? When it's been stuffy in your house for days, when the air feels thick and stale, when you can barely breathe, you open a window. Fresh air rushes in, everything shifts, the atmosphere changes in seconds. That's what December 5th is. Heaven is cracking open a window for fresh air to rush into your suffocating situation. But windows don't stay open forever. You've lived long enough to know this truth in your bones. You've watched windows of opportunity close. That job you didn't take in 1987. That relationship you let slip away. That dream you postponed until someday. And someday never came, did it? The window closed, the season passed, and you've carried that weight ever since. I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm trying to wake you up. Because right now, this very moment, you're standing at another window. But this one is different. This one isn't about career moves or relationship choices. This window determines whether you spend your final years in breakthrough or in the same bitter cycle you've been trapped in for decades. The prophet Isaiah saw this coming. He wrote in Isaiah 60:1, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." But notice the urgency in that word, arise. Not stay seated, not think about it, not maybe next year when you feel ready. Arise now, because the glory that's coming won't wait for your convenience. You want to know why December 5th? Why this specific date? Because God operates in appointed times. The Greek New Testament calls it kairos, the appointed moment when chronological time intersects with divine purpose. When Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season," it's not talking about spring, summer, fall, and winter. It's talking about this divine windows that open and close according to heaven's perfect timing. Jesus understood this. In John 9:4, he said, "I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh, when no man can work." Even the Son of God operated within windows of time. Even he knew that opportunities don't last forever. So let me ask you something that's going to cut deep. How many more windows can you afford to miss? How many more years do you have to wait for another chance? You're not 20 anymore. You're not even 50. Time isn't just passing, it's accelerating. Every birthday comes faster than the last one. Every year feels shorter. Every season slips through your fingers like sand. And the enemy knows this about you. He knows that if he can just keep you hesitating, keep you doubting, keep you waiting until you're ready, the window will close while you're still standing outside looking in. But here's what hell doesn't want you to understand. This December window isn't opening because you've earned it. It's opening because God has had enough of watching you suffer. It's opening because 70, 80, 90 years of faithfulness is about to be rewarded. It's opening because heaven looked at your file and said, "They've waited long enough." The window is open. Fresh air is rushing in. The atmosphere over your life is shifting right now, but you have to step through it. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel more spiritual. Not after you've prayed about it for 6 more months. The window won't wait. The opportunity won't pause. The blessing that has your name written on it will not sit on the shelf indefinitely while you debate whether you're worthy enough to receive it. Proverbs 8:17 declares, "I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me." Early, not late, not eventually, not when it's comfortable. So here's the question that will determine your entire future. What is this window actually preparing you for? What is heaven positioning you to receive that requires this exact timing, this specific moment, this appointed day? Because what's coming through that window isn't just blessing, it's vindication, it's restoration, it's everything hell stole from you being returned with interest. And you're about to discover exactly what that looks like. Beloved chosen one, as we reach the end of this sacred moment together, I need you to hold 3 eternal truths close to your heart. First, December 5th is not just another day on your calendar, it's a divine appointment. Heaven has been preparing for your entire life. This window is real, this shift is happening, and you are standing at the threshold of everything you've been praying for. Second, every sign we've discussed today, every prophetic marker, every spiritual indicator, they're not coincidences. They're confirmations that God hasn't forgotten your name, your address, or the promises He whispered over you decades ago. And third, the dark night you've been walking through, it's reaching its final hour, not because time simply passed, but because your faithfulness has qualified you for what's coming next. But I need you to hear this with absolute clarity. You are not walking into this breakthrough alone. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who made the sun stand still, who raised Jesus from the dead, He's working in your life right now. Even when you can't see it, even when you can't feel it. He's moving mountains you don't even know exist yet. And beyond that, you have us. This isn't just a YouTube channel, this is a family. A community of believers who understand your struggle because we've lived it too. We're here. We see you. And we will stand with you in prayer. So let me ask you this. If God has brought you this far through every valley, every storm, every season that tried to break you, why would He abandon you now at the doorway of your greatest victory? Now, close your eyes for a moment. Let me pray over you. Heavenly Father, I lift up every precious soul hearing these words right now. Lord, you know their names, you know their struggles, you know the tears they've cried when no one was watching. You know the battles they've fought in silence. Father, I'm asking you to place your hand on their shoulder right now. Let them feel your presence like never before. Open the December window wide over their lives. Release the breakthrough they've been believing for. Heal what's been broken. Restore what's been stolen. Vindicate what's been questioned. Give them supernatural strength for this final stretch. Give them eyes to see the signs. Give them courage to walk through the door you're opening. And Father, let them know deep in their spirit that their dark night is ending and their dawn is breaking. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us which sign resonated most with your spirit. Ask your questions. We're here to pray with you. And please, share this message with someone who needs to hear that December 5th is their appointed time too. Someone out there is waiting for this exact word. If this message touched your heart, hit that subscribe button. Join this family of chosen ones who refuse to give up. Your breakthrough story could be the next testimony we celebrate together. Thank you for staying until the very end. That tells me everything I need to know about your heart. You're ready. December 5th is coming, chosen one. And so is everything you've been waiting for.